Okay, this is just a quick video to show you how to get on to Sketchup, and I'll try and quickly show you how to use it. There's a lot to it, but I'll give you 5 or 10 minutes of a kind of quick tutorial. So what I use to launch it is Google Chrome. Your mum should have this on her laptop. If she doesn't, you can use Internet Explorer or anything really to launch it. Anything that gets you onto the internet. So up with Google Chrome, I'll launch a new window here. www.sketchup.com called Sketchup. So off we go to Sketchup. Okay, this will bring you to the landing page. Let me just make this full screen so it's easier. So what you're looking for is try Sketchup. See here in the middle of the drawing it says try Sketchup. Okay, and then it brings you into the options of Sketchup. Now you don't want to select any of the paid options. There's no need. It's totally free. So what you're looking for is for personal projects all the way over on the left here. Click on that one. And then it gives you two options. It tries to punch you towards a 30-day free trial so that you pay for it after that, but you don't need that. You're looking for the one on the right here that says Start Modeling. Excuse me. So click on Start Modeling. And then, so you've three options here. Now, I could send you my login details to my drawings, but there's two things. I don't want you going in there in case you do any harm or delete a drawing or anything. And also, the fact that I have so many drawings makes mine really slow. Whereas if you create your own account, you'll have no drawings in there, so it'll actually be a lot faster. So I think it's just better if you set up your own account, probably using your mum's email or something. But you've three options here. You can sign in with Google, sign in with Apple, or sign in with Microsoft. If you click any one of them and your mum is, let's say you say sign in with Google and your mum is already logged into Google, it'll bring you straight in. So that's actually quite handy. But for the purpose of this, I have my own sign in details that I will use. So boom, sign in. Now to ask you for a verification code, you get this from what's called an authenticator app. Your mum will have to download it onto her phone, or you can download it. It's called Google Authenticator. If she downloads Google Authenticator, it'll give her that final code she needs to log in. You can give me a ring about the steps to do that if you want, but it's it's easy once it's downloaded. Your mum will take you through that, and if not, like I said, give me a ring. So these are all my existing drawings at the moment. You can see there, that's your house, the garden design. But like I said, because I have all these are all really heavy drawings. You can see the size of them. They don't sound big. Like this latest one I've done is only 9.4 megabytes. That doesn't sound big. But when you open it up, it's really slow software to use when you're using the free version. If you're using the paid version, it's not slow, it's really fast. But we don't want to pay for stuff. So what you're looking for is the button up here just under home that says create new. So you want to create a new drawing. So I've just clicked on that. Okay, so it brings you in here to the drawing studio. Now, the man that's on the screen here is just placed on the screen to give you an idea of size. So he's there as a kind of gauge for how big or small something is that you're going to draw. But you also have this thing at the bottom here that says measurements. Okay, now this is quite difficult. It's not easy software to use for someone your age. But I'll show you anyway, and then I'll research more apps in the afternoon to see if any of them might work for you. So to start drawing, you need to start with this plane field here. So where's the plane field now? Here we go. So this is called a rectangle, but it's actually going to create our ground plane. So you'll see here, see the way the pencil moves around? See that? And the blue plane sign is underneath it. See it following the pencil? So two things. Once I click on this here and start to drag, it's going to create a shape or a space. But also down here, it's going to tell me what size that is. Down in the dimensions box at the bottom corner. So it's important to keep an eye on the dimensions box. So the first thing you need to do is measure your room so that you know you have the dimensions of the room right when you go to draw it up. So let's say your room, for instance, is 4 meters by 3 meters. I'm going to click on this now and create that. So one click down on the mouse and keep the click on the mouse, keep your button on the mouse and drag. Now see in the bottom corner how you have 2 dimensions there? So the dimension on the left is the height, the length I'm going, and the dimension on the right is the width I'm going. See that changing? Sorry, the other way around. The dimension on the left is the width. Yeah, the dimension on the left is the width, the dimension on the right is the height. See the way they're changing? See, it's at 10 meters now long by 630 millimeters wide. So we want 4 by 3. So I'm going to try and get it as close as I can. You can adjust this anyway once you're happy with the shape. So I'll go to 3 here on the left, 4, 3 and 4. Let's see now, we get it close. Almost there. Boom, 4 meters by 3 meters. So that's our ground plane, right? So right now, see this arrow that goes around in a circle here over on the left on your toolbox? This is your toolbox down along here. Sorry, I should have said that. These are all your tools that you'll use to draw. So this round arrow, see, once I select it, once you click on that, you can drag around and see your shape. So this is your horizon up here of your plane. That's your horizon, see where the man is standing. So that's like sky, and this is like land, if you want to think about it like that. And this is your shape of your room now. That's 4 meters by 3 meters. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to create the wall around that room. So what we're going to do is every wall inside your house is 100 millimeters in width. So again, we're going to look down here to the dimensions box. I'm going to wait till that, zoom in a little bit, we'll wait till it goes up to 100 millimeters. There we are. So I'll click. So when you have the pencil is what you use to draw. So the rectangle shape creates a plane, creates a rectangle, and the pencil just creates a line. They're the differences. And they're the 2 ones you only really need to know for now. The plane, this one here, and the pencil for creating a line. So this creates a rectangle, that creates a line. So we've 100 millimeter, come out 100 millimeter of a line. We click on it again at the very end of it, and then we drag it and see that green line that pops up. See, when I go this way, it's black. When I go this way, it's green. That's telling me that it's parallel to the rectangle. So it's exactly 100 millimeters away from that rectangle all the way along. So we're going to continue it on out from the edge. So that's 100 millimeters all the way along. Right? So once I click it back into the rectangle, it becomes part of it then. So that's all you're doing, is just creating a separate line that's part of the rectangle. We'll do another one now on the other edge. So the green line tells me I'm still going parallel. I'm keeping an eye out down here so I know I'm going 100 millimeters. There it is. So I've got another line that's 100 millimeters, and see the way the line is still hanging off the end of it? We'll just allow it to do that because it'll allow us to go along this plane then. So what we'll do is, see the way the line's black, and now it'll change to red. So that's telling me it's parallel with the other plane. One is green and one is red. They're 2 different colors. So I've finished off the line by clicking down on the mouse. Now I'm just dragging my mouse around again. You can see the line is still connected. And then I'll click it in here and it'll create a plane. Because once you finish off 4 lines, once you join 4 lines together, it creates a plane. A plane is just like a shape, a rectangular shape. So there it is. That's created a second plane. So basically what we have here now is a wall here and a wall here. That they just haven't been risen yet, but we've outlined the dimension of the wall. And again, another 100 millimeters out. See down here, you can see it on the red plane because the red is telling me I'm still going parallel to my shape. And the red and the green, red for going this direction, green for going the other direction. So you can see down in my dimensions box, it's at 100 millimeters there now. So I'll click down on my mouse and close that line. The line is still attached. So it's, like I said, it's black, and then it's green because it's parallel to this plane. It can be blue so that it's absolutely vertical, perfectly vertical, or it can be red to say that it's going in line with this plane. So because we're going back the way we want to keep it green, make sure it's green. So see, it's after clicking in green. So there it is black, there it is green. So that tells me we're going the right way. So again, we finish off the line in parallel to that shape. There it is. So just one click finishes off the line. I can move my mouse around here. And again, we're just going to try and finish it off back into the rectangle so that it becomes part of the rectangle. So move my mouse around. Whenever I'm happy that it's there, see the way the dot comes up to tell me that it's in the right place? Click down on my mouse and we have another shape. Last one then, again, out 100 millimeter. See the dimensions box, 89, 90, 92, 93. That's me dragging the mouse out to that. There it is, 100 millimeters. Click down. That's our shape. The very same thing then all the way to the end. Red tells me it's in line with this axis. Go all the way to the end. And if I hover over this end point and then drag my mouse out a little bit, see the way there's a dotted line in green? You mightn't be able to see that on screen. That dotted line is telling me that I'm perfectly in line with the end of that shape. So there we are. Red axis there tells me I'm parallel with the other shape. The green dotted line moving in the way along here tells me that I'm in line with the very end here. And you know that because you can see the two circular dots. One is over the end of the shape, one is where my pencil, where my line mark is. So they're telling me everything is in line and everything is square. So I click down on my mouse, that's my line created. So all I have to do then is join that line back to this line and it'll all become one shape again. So we drag out and we can see that we have our 4 meter by 3 meter plane in here, and now we have 100 millimeters running all the way around the outside. That's going to be your wall. Now before we drag that up so that it can be a wall, right now it's 4 different shapes. So to make that all one shape, all we have to do is select each line. See the way I clicked on that and it turned blue? So I'm clicking out in the space where there's nothing, it takes away the selection, but when I click on it, it turns blue. So once that turns blue, we just want to delete it. So to delete it, what I use is the backspace on my keyboard. That's all you have to do. Just select the line, turns blue, hit the backspace on your keyboard, and off it goes. Same thing up here. We find the line. These turn blue, backspace, line gone. So back down to this corner. I click on it here. The line turns blue, backspace, it's gone. And again in this corner, we click on it. Line turns blue, backspace, it's gone. So now that outside 100 millimeters is all one shape. It's not 4 separate rectangles now. It's all one outline. And the way you know that is when you click on it. See the way all the blue dots continue all the way around? That's telling me that that's all one shape now. In the same way, if I click on the 4 meter by 3 meter room space right there, there's loads of blue dots in there. So it's telling me it's all one shape. So we only have 2 shapes now after all the drawing we've done, but they're 2 very important shapes because they're the size of your room to exactly the dimensions, and they're the size of the wall going around the outside to the exact dimensions. Here's where things get fun. So right now it's just a shape. As you can see from our horizon, it's just a flat shape. So the fun starts. This is your drag tool. It's the next one down. So we've used the pencil, we've used the rectangle. Now we're going to use the drag tool, right? So the drag tool allows you to drag any shape out into 3D form. So like I said, right now, this is just 2 flat shapes. We're going to make it 3D now. And as we do that, we're going to keep an eye on the measurements down here. And the reason we're going to keep an eye on the measurements is we want the height of your wall to be exactly the same as the wall in your room. That wall, by standard Irish building regulations, is normally 2.5 meters high. So 2500 millimeters. So we're going to select this drag tool here and we're going to drag that wall up. So watch the distance down below on the bottom right hand corner of the screen. See the way that's going up as I drag the mouse? It goes up and down. So we'll drag that up to 2.5 meters. Now 2.5 meters is quite a tall ceiling. You could probably get away with 2200, but we'll go 2.5 just so we're correct. Because by my estimations, that will be the height of your wall, because that's Irish building standards. So it looks kind of like a box now, but actually it's a room. See? That's your room. So basically then, now we have 4 walls and a space. That's the dimension of your room. So what we want to do then is we want to create a door on the way in. So again, pencil, select the pencil tool. And what we're going to do is we're going to use always work from your inside dimensions, Rian, because your outside dimensions have that extra 100 millimeters that we don't want to affect our measurements. So if you measure inside your room, let's say over here is the door into your room and that's the landing out in the hall. We zoom in here, we'll use our pencil to measure in. So let's say the door is 200 millimeters from this wall. What we'll do is, keeping an eye on our length, our dimensions box down here, we click the pencil down into the corner and we move it along, and you can see down here it's telling me how far that line is moving. So I would say maybe your door is 300 millimeters from the end wall here. You'll have to use a tape to measure all this. So 300, well 299 is pretty close, 301 is pretty close, so I'll click on the mouse, it'll be good enough. So all that's done is put a point there at the moment. And you can see, so that's the point from here to the end wall, right? And as you move the mouse along that line, see this blue dot that comes up here? That's telling you that's exactly halfway from this point to that point. The blue is just halfway, and that's just important to know as you get used to drawing with the software. So we click the pencil on that point again because we know that's 301 millimeters from the end wall. So we click the pencil on it. And then what we do is every door in every house is generally 2100 millimeters in height from the ground. So we want your door to be exactly as every other door is, and I'm guessing that's the exact height of your door. So click on that point and we come up. See down here in the box again, we come up 2100. See, we need to get a blue line because it needs to be exactly vertical on this shape here. If it's black, it's not on the shape. It has to be blue. And in the same way down here, if it's red, it's on your floor here. But if it's black, it's not. It's going into middle of space. You want it to be either red on the floor or blue on the wall. That tells you you're exactly on the edge of the wall. And again, down here, we're keeping an eye on our height. So we want it to be blue, and we want to go up 2100. So here we go, up 2103, 2101. I'm happy enough with that. That'll do fine. So click down on my mouse and that creates the line. Now, every door is approximately 2100 millimeters in height in a house, and most houses elect for a door width of 880 millimeters. So again, we're going to come across here. Again, see, coming up it needs to be blue, going across it needs to be green. That tells you you're on that wall. So we need the line to be green, and keeping an eye on our dimensions down here, we need to come across 880. So 861, 870, 881, close enough. We're only going to be a millimeter out. So you can see now we're getting a shape to our door. So again, with the line coming out of the point, like I said, the line is black. That's no good because it's going into the middle of the space. We need that line to be blue. So you can see it went red there. Red is on a different axis. We need that line to be blue on an internal wall. So once the line is blue, we don't even need to measure this. We just want it to run blue all the way down to the bottom. Click. So we've created our door shape, but we want to see that that's a door. We want to see that we can walk through it. So we've, like I said before, we've used our pencil, we've used our rectangle, we've used our push-pull tool, so that helps you to convert something from being flat into 3D. But like I said before, it helps you to drag out spaces. So right now, this is just a rectangle on a wall. It's not a shape, but if we click on it and drag it, it'll come out. Okay, so I'll create a shape. So let's say I drag that out. That's not a door, that's a mistake. But if you make a mistake, you can go back. See up here in the top left of the screen? You click back, that'll undo what you've done. So still using the drag tool. Instead of dragging this way, I'm going to push, because it's a push-pull tool. So I pull, it creates a box back the way. But if I push, it goes the other way. And what I do is I push until it says on face. See the way on face is coming up there? That's telling me that I'm pushed right out to the edge of the 100mm wall. So if I do that and just let the mouse go, it's actually just deleted that part of the wall. So now we can see we have our doorway in. So if we drag our little man over here, we can see he fits through the door. See? So we have our 4 walls and our doorway. So again, see the way I'm using this tool, this round red arrow? That allows me to swing around and look at the shape. And then I can zoom in and zoom out. I use zoom in and zoom out using my mouse. If I drag my finger along it, it does it. But you might not have that feature. So if you want to zoom in and zoom out, see this little hand down here that says pan? You click on that. Sorry, that's different now. That should have allowed you to select zoom. Go down to the 3 dots instead. Click those 3 dots and you see all your other options here. And you want to use zoom in here. See the magnifying glass? That'll help you to zoom. So you can zoom, dragging it forward or back. It'll zoom in and out. So with my finger pushed down on the mouse, I can drag that forward or back. Have a play around with it though. You'll get used to these tools. So again, like I said, the round red arrow. So let's say this is your room. And now you want to change color. So here's where things get really exciting. So you've used your toolbox on the left hand side. Now you can use your toolbox on the right hand side. These are all different really handy things that help you make what's just a white box into an actual room. The main ones you need to focus on. You don't really need to focus on anything else on the right hand side apart from these 2 here. See the 3 boxes packed together, and also the box with the checkered on the end of it. The box with the checkered on the end of it is going to allow you to change the color of these walls and to make the floor like it's timber floor. I'll show you those options in a minute. The 3 boxes together will allow you to place objects in. And I'll go through that again in a second. Once I've changed the colors of the walls and changed the floor to be timber, I'll show you then how to get the shapes out of the 3 boxes. So the first one we'll focus on is the box with the checkered plating on the end of it. We click on that, and this gives us some colors on the home. See the little home icon? If we move over to the search icon, the one with the magnifying glass and the little boxes behind it, we click on that, we get loads more options. So what we get, see the colors here? So I click on colors. Let's say I'm going to make your room green. I click on green, the paint can comes up. So all I did was click my mouse on that, the paint can comes up. And anywhere I put that paint can, if I click on the mouse, anywhere I put it, it'll change it to that color. So, click, color, click, color, click, color. We use our rotate tool here. Back to the green, select it again, click, color. So that's our room now. We've created a color in our room. So, we're finished with colors. So we scroll back up to the top of colors, and by hitting that little down arrow again, it'll close it back up. So that's what I clicked on colors to open it, click on it again, close it. See all these other options here then. We've glass and mirrors, we have carpet, fabrics, brick, cladding, asphalt, concrete, 3D printing, patterns, roofing, stone, synthetic surfaces. We've loads of options here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the wood one, because that's going to give us wood flooring. So we click on wood flooring and scroll down for our options. Now it looks like there's not many options, but in actual fact, we don't need many more options than this. So wood cherry original, wood floor dark. I generally click on wood floor dark. It's easy to use, it looks good. So I've clicked on wood floor dark, the paint can comes up again, and the exact same as the color. When I click on this floor here with my paint can, because I've selected wood, it changes it to wood flooring. So now we have a room with a door, wood flooring, and a nice color in it. But that's not enough. because I'm guessing there's a window in there somewhere. Exact same way as the door. Let's say your window is a meter. So I'm looking down here. So it's a meter from the end. So we'll go 1,000 millimeters, which is a meter. Okay, we're at 999 to 104. We'll zoom in so we can get it exactly right. So I am now 1,000 meters. I click on my mouse, so I get my point. I click on the point again because I want to draw a line. Again, remember what I said, it has to be blue. See the blue there? Going all the way up. Now your window height is generally the same height as your door height. So that's going to be 2100. So looking at my box at the bottom right at the corner of the screen, I'm at 2102. That's close enough. That'll do. Let's say your window then is a meter wide. So we follow the red line along with the mouse until we get 1000 millimeters in the bottom right hand corner of our screen. 109, 105, 102, 999. Close enough. Click on the mouse. So instead of clicking all the way back down then, because our window's not going to go all the way to the ground, and we need that to be blue, remember what I said? Window's not going all the way to the ground, it's only going back down a certain amount. But we can draw the line all the way to the bottom if we want. So we're going to do that because it just makes it easier. So the line is all the way to the bottom, we click on our mouse, now that's created the same shape as the door, only a little bit wider. So, what height are windows? Well, windows vary in height. Some people have windows at 700 millimeters high, some people have them at 900 millimeters wide, but in general, industry standard is either 900 millimeters high or 1100 meters high. And the reason for that is that's exactly hand height on most human beings. It's the same as when you're on a stairs. If you're walking up the stairs, the angle of the handle at the side of the stairs, or the balustrade as we call it, is normally 1100 millimeters from the step. And then when you get to the top of the stairs on the landing, that's normally 900 millimeters. And that's because it's about right height for your hand for a human when they're fully grown. So we do the same with windows. We generally have them about 900 millimeters from the floor. Now, like I said, some houses will have lower windows. It's completely up to the person building the house. But I'm guessing your house has your windows at about 900 millimeters high. So we'll go 900 millimeters high. Close enough. 899, that's good enough for me. So what I did is I clicked on the floor, dragged my mouse up until I got to 890, let's see, 9. Okay, 896. We'll zoom in, we'll get this nice and accurate. So I'm looking at my bottom right hand of the screen, it's at 899. I'm only a millimeter out, it's fine. So I click on the mouse, that's created the point. So until I click on that point again, it's not going to do anything, but now we have a line. So we can create a line. Again, like I said, we follow the red axis across. Click, and that's our shape. So now we have two shapes on that wall. We have a bottom one, clicked here, see the way it turns blue. When I click on the top one, it turns blue. So we only want the top one because that's our window area there. We don't want this bottom one, that's part of the wall. So like we did at the start, we delete those two lines. Once you click on them, they turn blue. Hit backspace, they delete. Click on it, turns blue. Hit backspace, it's deleted. So now you can see you have your wall and then you have your window. Wall, window. And they're just selecting as I'm clicking on them. So I've selected the window. Back to the push and pull tool, the exact one we use for the door. We click on that and we're going to push our window out until it turns grey. And when it turns grey, it says on face. Remember I said that? Keep pushing it out slowly until you see on face coming up. Once on face comes up, just let the mouse go. There it is. It's deleted that part of the wall, so we now have a window. Now, I could be really particular and put an actual window in there so that you can see what you're looking at, but it'll take time and you don't really need it. You just want to figure out what you're going to put in your room. So that's your room shape. So you have your window and your door. I'm zooming out so you can see that. Window and door and floor and walls in green. So they're all the shapes created. So now we're going to have a little bit of fun and put some stuff in there. So like I said before, you only need to know two things here. Right now we're using the box with the checkered one. I'm all the way over on the right hand side here. So we're finished with that. We've colored the wall. We've colored the floor. So now we're going to put some stuff in there. So you click on your components. That's 3 boxes. Click on that. Right. So when you've clicked on components, what you get is, let's click on it here, and we'll close down this one. So materials will close. So we're in components now. So when you've clicked on your three boxes, you have two options up here. You have the home, and there's nothing in the home because we haven't used anything yet. And then you have this kind of shape here, search 3D warehouse, it says when you hover over it. And that's what you want to do. You want to search 3D warehouse to find stuff to put into your room. So we click on that, and a little search box comes up. So you can pretty much put anything you want in here. But just so to show you how to use it, I'm going to use a bed as an example. So I type BED in here, hit return on my keyboard, and that'll search. So that's now searching for all the beds in there. And for some reason, it hasn't given me any results. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. So it actually has 2,650 results, but these are all huge. Even 3.2 megabytes is a huge file to be putting down into your drawing, and you don't want that. So what I normally do is I hit filters, see up here, click on filters, and what you want to do is you want to search by size. So category, file size, all file sizes. We want to change that, so we click the drop down menu and we get this drag box here. So right now it's giving me results from 0 megabytes right up to 100 megabytes, which would be way too large for the free version. So we're going to drag this back down so that the max size we can have is 1 megabyte. It's actually only letting me go to 5. Anyway, we'll settle for 5. And we apply that filter, so now we only have 1600 results. So what we'll do is we'll just scroll down until we get a small one. So see the file sizes here. So this one is 42 kilobytes. That's very small. That's really good. 62 kilobytes. That's really small. Really good. Really like that. 1.3 megabytes is a bit big. We don't really want that. Again, 1.2 megabytes. This one here. We don't really want that. So we'll keep searching until we find a bed size that we like and a bed that I think you might like. So down we go. Now it's not the best for searching, so you can get a bedroom office. That's a whole drawing, by the way. 1.4 megabytes in size of a whole drawing. So let's see, we'll find a nice bed for Ian here. A hammock. Could put a hammock into your bedroom. Let's see. So this one here is pretty standard. It's 302 kilobytes. So we'll pop that one in. So all we do is we just click on it. Okay. And when we click on it, see it says view in 3D. We won't bother reviewing it in 3D. We're happy with this bed. So all we do is we click download. So it's downloading the model. Okay. Now the problem with using these is they don't normally come into scale. It actually looks like this one is in scale. So I'm dragging that around and you can see I can place it in your room. But as I drag it around, right now it's there, it's in your room, but it's coming through the wall here. See it coming out through the wall. Then when I drag up here, it sits on top of the wall. We don't want it on top of the wall. But what we're going to do is we're going to drag it around until we know it's on the floor. There it is on the floor. See the way it's going through the sidewall? Once I'm happy with that, I click my mouse and there it goes. It's now in my drawing. That's my bed in my drawing. Problem is we actually have this document here that we don't really want. That document is just, they just come in with the drawings and there are details on where to buy that bed, actually, believe it or not. But we don't want to buy it. We just want to model this up and see how it looks. So right now, this is all one piece. So we need to break it into two different pieces. One that's the bed and one that's the document, so we can delete the document. So to do that, we click on our mouse first. And then what we do is, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You have to click on the bed while pressing Control on your keyboard. So press CTRL on the keyboard, press down on it, then click on the bed, and it gives you these options, right? So the option you're looking for is Explode. because that's going to explode the shape into two different shapes. So once I click explode, see now, there's no grid frame around the two of them. They're both selected separately. So to deselect them, we select out into the grey space with our mouse. Now they're both deselected. And that means then that I can select this one. Like I said, once it comes up in blue, press backspace and it's gone. So I'll show you that again. I came up here, undo what I've done. So there's the shape. Once I select on it with my mouse, it all turns blue. I hit backspace on the keyboard and it disappears. So now we're just left with our bed. And as you can see, the bed is going through the wall, and we definitely can't sleep in a bed that's going halfway through a wall. So again, we use our mouse selector tool up here, the top one on the left. So it allows me to select the bed. It's actually selected everything. There's a good note for you not to be placing stuff in the middle of walls, which I shouldn't have done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that out from where it is in the wall, because we need to be able to select it all as one. So I moved it out. Like I said before, press control on your keyboard, click on the bed, and then hit explode, and the two of them separate. Hit your mouse out into free space, so they deselect, then select your object, hit CTRL on your keyboard, and click, and there you go. We can select it. So once we select it, backspace, deletes that object, and now we have our bed on its own. The problem is the bed is loads of different objects. Sometimes this happens, sometimes it doesn't. To make that all one shape, we need to get our selector tool up here, selector mouse tool, and then what we do is we drag that mouse over everything on the bed, so all of the object. Once we drag over that, it's all selected now. See the way it's all turned blue? That's all one shape now. So it's just all selected, we haven't made a shape of it yet. So again, in the same way we exploded everything apart by hitting control and clicking on our mouse, we're now going to bring everything back together by hitting control and clicking on our mouse. So once it's all selected, all in blue, I hit CTRL on my keyboard, click on my mouse, gives me my options, right? So what we want to do with this is we want to make group. That's going to group everything into one object. So we select make group. There we go. Now it's one object. So now we can finally move that bed using the move. See these 4 arrows? Select them 4 arrows. That will allow us to move the bed back into your room. And it goes. Now the bed is sitting in the middle of the room. We don't want it there. We want to be able to rotate it, move it around. So the bed is still selected. We know that because it's blue all the way around the edges. So we've used the move tool to move it into the room. Now we're going to use the rotate tool. So once I select rotate, you see the way the circle is black of the rotate tool? We want that to be blue. So once we move it off the bed, see the way it turns blue? That means that it's going to rotate on the floor. So now that it's turned blue, I click my mouse once and it started, and see the way the red line drags out? That's asking me what axis do I want to rotate off, and the red one is fine. You'll get used to this by practicing it, but I'm going to rotate off the red axis. So the first click was to start, and then the second click means I'm telling it, right, that's the axis to rotate off. So see the way the red line is perfect. When I move my mouse down a little bit, the bed's starting to rotate. The reason we want to rotate off an axis is we want to know that we're rotating the bed exactly 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my mouse down until that happens. See the way now I get a green line? The green line is telling me that's exactly 90 degrees. So there we are. Once we're at 90 degrees, we click our mouse, and now the bed is set in place at 90 degrees. So that's our rotate tool. We'll go back to our move tool, because you'll notice that the bed is actually after moving back into the wall when we rotated it, and we don't want that. We want the bed to be in the middle of the room. So we're going to use our move tool again. So I have my move tool open, I push down on my mouse and I don't let up. I keep my finger on the mouse and I drag the bed until I'm happy with where it ends up. So let's say that's where I want my bed. Let the mouse go, the bed is there. So selector tool, select middle of nowhere, and there it is. The bed is set into the room. So that's our bedroom now, starting to come together. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'll add a couple more things on screen without talking, just so you can see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I'll add maybe a wardrobe or something and maybe a locker. And that should be enough for you to get going and to figure out what else you want in your room and to design it out yourself. It is very difficult software to use, so I'm hoping I find a better app for you in the afternoon that you can use. But for now, if you follow those instructions, you should be able to use SketchUp. So like I said, I'll add a couple of things in here. Instead of a bed, I'll add a wardrobe. So let's see what the results for our wardrobes are. There's a nice one. 27 megabytes? Absolutely not. So we keep scrolling up until we find a nice wardrobe for the Rian boy. That one ain't bad, and it's it's less than a megabyte, 998 kilobytes, so that's within our size range, but we'll keep looking and see if there's something nicer in there. If not, we'll pop that one in there. That wouldn't be too bad. It's a nice white one. Okay, I'm not happy with any of them, so we'll go back down to the one we like. Where is it gone again? That one's not bad either. It's 150 kilobytes. That one's not bad. Do you know what? We'll go with this one. It's only 99 kilobytes and it looks like a nice wardrobe. So we click on it. Don't want to view it in 3D. We'll just download it. Here we go. There's a wardrobe coming into the shot. So once I'm happy where it is, so I'm just moving the mouse around here. Once I'm happy where the wardrobe is, I can then click my mouse, and there it is. It's gone in. That's our wardrobe. So, using my rotate tool, I can get a look at that. See my wardrobe in my room. Matches my bed. Very cool. So, we'll put a locker in here. Back to the 3 boxes, click on them, search, backspace, locker. Search that again. Locker. These are actually industrial lockers, and we don't want that. We want a bedside locker. So let's search for a bedside locker instead. Bedside locker. Bedside unit. Okay, now we got some results. Let's try bedside table. Bedside drawer. That's what it'll be. Bedside drawer. Here we go. This is more like it. Let's get a nice wooden one that'll match your room. 206 kilobytes. I like that. And download. So there is our locker. It's probably facing the wrong way, I'm guessing. So again, I'm going to use my rotate tool. Once it turns blue, click, drag until I get red, click again, and then turn until I get green. See the green line? Click a third time. That's it. Rotate it. Then I get my move, keep my finger on the mouse while I'm dragging until I get it into the wall. And then we'll drag it over to your bed so it's close to you when you're asleep. Now, that's your locker put in. So we have a wardrobe and we have bedside lockers. Do you know what we'll do now? We'll drag this locker over here. Drag this bed over here. We'll put a second locker in. So when you have a shape in Rian, you can select it, hit, so again, CTRL, control on your mouse, Control on your keyboard, press it down, and then click your mouse, and you get your options again. See these two documents at the top? That's copy. So once I click on that, that has copied my shape. It doesn't do anything. You just click on it and it's copied. Click away from it again. And then what we do is we paste the shape. So on an Apple keyboard, that's Apple and V or Command and V. On a PC keyboard, I think that's Shift and V or Control and V. Anyway, your mum can tell you that. But once I Control V, it pastes the shape down. So I just place it beside the bed. Now we have two bedside lockers. The room's starting to look really nice. So the last thing we'll put in is a TV unit and a TV. So search TV unit. Again, TV unit. There's one straight away that looks nice. Has a TV and all. There's another one. I'll try and get one that matches your room a little bit better. Okay, I like this one. So I'm going to select it. Now I don't actually want this bit here. It's like a study desk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download it and then I'm going to separate them the same way I showed you before. So because we're going to separate them, we don't want to put them in the room yet. It's the exact same as we did with the bed. So I'm dragging it around, nothing's happening until I click, and then it places it wherever I leave my mouse. So there's our TV unit and there's our locker, but we don't want them together, so we use the select tool, top over here, press CTRL on our keyboard and click with our mouse. And as I said before, we want to explode, we want to separate them. So I'm going to click explode, and now we can see they're two separate shapes. Select away into the distance so that we deselect both of them. And then we click on one, and because that's all still one shape, all we have to do is just click on it. So it's blue outline. We know it's all selected. So then we press backspace on our keyboard, it's going to disappear. Backspace, disappear. Select on this object, and again, the same way as the bed, they're two separate objects, and we don't want them separate, we want them together. So, like I said before, make sure you can move it around so you can freely select it all. So if I didn't do that, if I did this, I wouldn't be able to select just the TV and the unit. It would also select part of your room. But when I rotate my screen and deselect, I can then just select the two things that I want to make into a shape. So like I said, once we select them, once they're selected, we press CTRL on our keyboard again, click on the object, and we want to make a group. We want to make them all as one. So there they are, they're all one piece now. So rotate again so we can see what we're doing. Maybe zoom out a little bit. So right now that TV is facing your window. We don't want that. So we're going to rotate it. Exact same way we rotated before. Once the circle turns blue, click once, drag out, click twice, and then rotate until it turns, this time it's going to turn red. There we go. Then we just move it back into your room. Let's leave it there for now. Into your room. Drag it out. Drag it down. Oh, too far. There it is. Drag it over. Now, that's your TV unit. Drag it out from the wall a little bit. In your room, with your window and your door and your wardrobe. So that's your room designed. Just like that. So you walk in, there's your wardrobe. There's your bedside units, your bed, and then your TV unit. The best room ever. Now, finally, we click save, because we want to save everything we've done. When you click save, it says yes, purge all, or no. You do want to purge everything. Purging is just making sure that it's applying it down into the file. You don't need to worry about it. All you need to do is just click yes, purge all. And then it brings up this screen. You want to save it in your Sketchup. So you click on Sketchup. As you can see, I have loads of different options here. Loads of drawings that I've saved before. But I don't want to save it to any of them. I want to create a new drawing. So I just see the bottom here where it says name. I'm just going to type in Rian's room down at the bottom here. And then click save. Save here. So that's it, saved. Once you save it once, it'll automatically keep saving every few minutes as you're drawing. So it's probably important to save from the start. That's it. That's your room saved there now. Finito. We'll bring your man, the weirdo, into the room. There he is, in there, standing by the bed. The devil. Wonder what he's at in there with a little tambourine in his hand. See him moving around the room. So he's, like I said before, he's just here to give you an idea of height. See there? Could zoom into the room. That's the height everything is at. There we go. That's your final drawing, Reen. Enjoy.